CockFM Radio. It's all about you.
Top of the morning to you out there. It's a sunny Tuesday morning here in the beautiful city of Shagar. I want to say a very big thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Headliners on CockFM Radio. In a moment, I'm going to be reviewing some of the big stories on the cover of our national dailies. My name is Olufemi Peters. And today we have quite a lot of newspapers to review. We're going to be reviewing the Punch newspaper, Nigerian Tribune, Vanguard newspaper, The Nation, Daily Times, Business Day, Daily Independent, The Guardian newspaper, Daily Sun, and Daily Trust newspaper. And we're going to be starting off today's review with the Punch newspaper. Today, Tuesday, May 16, 2023. The cover story for the Punch says Tinubu's inauguration. Military IG warn troublemakers as caught. Here's anti-handover case. Tinubu's inauguration. Military IG warns troublemakers as caught. Here's anti-handover case. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. I was staying with the Punch. Let's give you some other stories on the cover of the Punch. Pay rise. Resident doctors begin warning strike Wednesday. US announces visa ban on Nigerian poll riggers. Others. Federal government spends 13 trillion on subsidies. Sets removal guidelines. Sheun Kuti spends night in custody. Police plan arraignment. Nollywood stars mourn as Murphy Afolabi is buried. Hilda's marathon cooking smashes world record. Grabs global attention. Gridlock again, commuters grown on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Today's edition of Nigerian Tribune. Cover story for Nigerian Tribune says NAS presiding officers, North Central governors fault APC zoning template. National Assembly presiding officers, North Central governors fault APC zoning template. Yari adamant as more senators pledge support. That story is on page 15 and 16 of Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune also has some interesting stories on the cover page. 228 buildings, 336 families affected by rainfall in Lagos. That's a report according to Neymar. Suspected terrorist blows up self to evade arrest in Kaduna. Resident doctors begin warning strike. Court bars NYSC from further disclaiming Enugu governor-elect certificate. Police quiz Sheun Kuti over assault on police officer. Case transferred to SCID. IGP warns persons plotting to scuttle inauguration of new government. Manhunt launched for elements behind plot. 2023 polls. US imposes visa restrictions on election violators. Higher food prices push Nigeria's inflation to 22.22%. Okonjo-Iweala warns governors-elect against debt acquisition. Don't meddle in affairs of your successor, says Saraki. Dakwambo, Igbenedon, others warn outgoing governors. All right, now we look at today's edition of the Vanguard newspaper. 10th National Assembly leadership crisis. North Central governors kick against zoning to meet Tinubu National Working Committee. As aggrieved aspirants vow to take battle to plenary, Tinubu's men move to stop probe of Akpabio Tunji Ojo over NDDC fund. Reps spoil for war today over alleged doctored house rules to favor Abbas. APC placates North Central with SGF. Party supremacy should be upheld. That's according to Hoji Uzokalu. That's the cover story for the Vanguard today. You'll find that story on page 5. And now very quickly we move on to the Nation newspaper. Cover story for the Nation today, Tuesday, May 16, 2023 says IG warns subversive elements against plot to derail May 29. Political actors conspiring to stop inauguration of President-elect Tinubu and governors. Now there's an interesting quote accompanying this cover story on the cover of the Nation today. Political actors with subversive agenda and their collaborators, particularly their foot soldiers, they are exposing in political radicalization and extremism, should henceforth jettison their ongoing premeditated attempts to create tension within the national space with intention of derailing the May 29, 2023 presidential inauguration. There's a lot going on about this May 29 inauguration. Now we move on to the Daily Times newspaper. 13 days to go. FEC approves 18.6 billion naira for 3 ministers, 37 new private varsities. Wow, 13 days to go. FEC approves 18.6 billion naira for 3 ministers, 37 new private varsities. Interesting. Business Day newspaper. The cover story for Business Day today: residents face real risk of living near Dangote refinery. Residents face real risk of living near Dangote refinery. That's the cover story for Business Day newspaper. All right, let's look at Daily Independence newspaper today. Okonjo-Iweala worried over rising burden of debt servicing. Okonjo-Iweala worried over rising burden of debt servicing. Concerned it may eclipse recurrent expenditure. Investment advises incoming governors on private investment and multilateral support. I was still looking at the cover page for Daily Independent today. Let's give you some other soft stories. Inflation rises to highest in 17 years in April. May 29 inauguration will defend democracy, keep internal security order. That's according to the IGP. Incoming government will build from foundation we laid. That's according to President Muhammadu Buhari. FEC okays 3.04 billion naira for planes taxi lighting system for 3 airports. Court restrains NYSC from publishing disclaimer against Enugu governor-elect. Group castigates Senate for holding down NDDC 2023 budget. Buhari praises Hilda Bassi for placing Nigeria on global spotlight. US imposes visa ban on Nigerians who disrupted 2023 elections. Today's edition of the Guardian newspaper says uncertainty over 2.3 billion cement deal as grid collapses 99th time under Buhari. Uncertainty over 2.3 billion US dollar cement deal as grid collapses 99th time under Buhari. That's not a nice statistic. Resident doctors declare 5-day warning strike. US slams visa ban on Nigerians who undermined 2023 elections. Buhari Lawan hail Hilda on world record feat. Government kicks against move to halt doctors' migration. Buhari leaves inflation at highest in 17 years. Assault. Kuti apologizes, gives officer 12,000 naira for vehicle repairs. You'll always find interesting things to hear about Nigeria. Now we move on to Daily Sun newspaper. Cover story for Daily Sun today, Tuesday, May 16, 2023 says US slams visa ban on election riggers. Unveil their identities. Nigerians hot. That's stories on page 6. Khan sets agenda for Tinubu. That's another interesting story still on the cover of Daily Sun newspaper. And now the final paper we're reviewing this Tuesday morning here at CockFM Radio Shagam is Daily Trust newspaper. And the cover for Daily Trust today says NNPC to resume oil search in Lake Chad next week. NNPC to resume oil search in Lake Chad next week. Opens shares for public next year. A gas pipeline to connect over 11 countries and Europe. Now, this story is attributed to Kihari. NNPC to resume oil search in Lake Chad next week. That's according to Kihari. Northwest deserves Senate presidency. That is the take of Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, the former governor of Zamfara State. Alright, I'm afraid that's all we can take on today's edition of the Headliners on CockFM Radio. For more info and updates, visit our social media platforms via CockFM Radio Live on Facebook, CockFM on Twitter, CockFM Radio Live on Instagram, and CockFM Radio Live on YouTube. Many thanks for listening. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
CockFM Radio. It's all about you.